Hi, Vaqueros. Welcome to our Textbooks 101 session. Today I am accompanied by, first of all, my name is Natasha. I am a success guru, and I am accompanied by another success guru, Miss Elizabeth.
Hi everyone, my name's Elizabeth and I'm
And,
a sex guru.
and I am also accompanied by Mr. John Ferris, one of our university librarians.
Good afternoon, everybody. Glad to be here.
So to start the presentation, I am going to pull up a slides presentation that we have prepared for you. So like I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about textbooks. We've already introduced ourselves, so we're going to go straight into it. So first of all, what are textbooks? Most of you have probably already dealt with textbooks before, seeing as you are coming from high school. I know in high school, I used a lot of textbooks, but we didn't really have to take them home. They stayed in class most of the time. So now that we're in college, textbooks are basically required almost for every single class. It really depends on the teacher. And it just, for the next question, are they required? Like I said, it depends on the teacher. Around this time, on Monday, our classes opened on Blackboard. So on Blackboard, you can see all your classes, and then if you click each individual class, depending on if the teacher has posted their course information or not, you might be able to see the syllabus. Also around this time, teachers start sending out emails with the syllabus and all the information you will need to know for this course. And within the syllabus and within that information, they usually list the textbooks that you'll need for the course. It really depends on the teacher whether he or she may require a textbook, but yeah, it just depends on the teacher because some teachers like using one textbook, some teachers like using like two or three, and some teachers don't require any textbooks at all. So for me, last semester I took an English course and it was just a literature course. So it was all about like books from the 18 and 1900s. So I was able to find all of those books, the PDF versions, online for free. So it just depends on the class and it depends on the teacher whether the textbooks will be required or not. And a thing to keep in mind is that textbooks, traditional textbooks usually come out in different editions after 1 or 2 years. The authors of the textbooks like to update it and revamp it with new information, and they come out with a new edition of a textbook. Sometimes it's not always required to get the most relevant edition of the textbook. It really just depends on the teacher because sometimes the material will be more or less the same, just like in a different format. So for me, for my polls class, I had to take, it was like on the 7th edition of the textbook, but the 6th edition was cheaper to buy or to rent. And it had the same information, just the chapters were a little bit off. So if you want to go the cheaper route, just ask your teacher if you're able to get the previous edition of the textbook, and that'll really help. But the only thing is you might have a little bit of trouble, finding the information. But usually it's pretty much the same. And another question is, when should I get the textbooks by? So I remember I am going into my sophomore year. And so my freshman year, I always wanted to have all my textbooks by the first day of class. But last year I learned that you don't really need your textbooks by the first day of class. Most professors know that this is like the time where students are still adding and dropping classes. We have until, I believe, the 27th to add any more classes that we want. So teachers take that into account about when they require textbooks. So for example, I got an email last week from one of my professors this semester. I'm taking another English course, and he is not requiring our textbook until the second week of class. So he's going to provide all the source material for the first week for any assignments that we may need. And then by the second week of class, he expects us to have the textbook or the resource material by then. So that's just something to keep in mind, that it really just depends on the teacher whether or not by when you need the textbook. And another thing to keep in mind is that I'll talk about it in the next slide, but sometimes in your classes, group chats will be formed. Students love to create group chats to just talk about the course, to help each other out. And then sometimes your classmates may or may not have PDF versions of the textbooks. In my last summer class, 2 out of the 3 resource materials that we were going to need, students had. So if I had waited a little bit to, instead of purchasing one of the resource materials, one of the books I needed, I could have just gotten it for free. So it's just something to keep in mind, that there are other ways and other resources to get the materials, and you don't always need to have it by the first day of class. And so moving on to talking about the different types of textbooks, there are 2 primary types of textbooks, which are the traditional and the ebook/PDFs. So the traditional is basically like a book, something like this, something that you hold in your hand that's physical. These types of books are usually more expensive. They can be rented or bought. There are a few different resources that we're going to talk about, different ways to find these different sources. But yes, traditional textbooks are usually more expensive, whereas ebooks and PDFs are usually cheaper to rent or buy. I believe they are more so rented than bought, but sometimes you can find them for free online. Like I said, in my English class, I was able to find ebooks and PDFs of the source material that we needed for free. And like I also mentioned, sometimes your group chats, your classmates may be able to have the PDF version of the different books you'll need. But a thing to keep in mind is that some textbooks come with access codes or are required for different programs. So last spring, I took a math course. I was taking calculus, and our teacher required this specific program called Cengage. And so in order to get the program, I needed the textbook. So if I wanted to get it used, I wasn't completely sure whether the access code was used or not. So just like keep in mind that different resource materials and the access codes might not always be available if you go the cheapest route. Like for example, this ASL textbooks that I have, it was supposed to come with some CDs, but because I rented the book, it didn't come with CDs. So that's just something to keep in mind. The supplemental material or access codes may not always come with like the cheaper versions, the rented, instead of like buying it brand new. And then, so in order to save money on textbooks, we're going to cover a few different resources. 2 of them are going to be local, our UTRGV resources, which will be the library and our bookstore. And then Elizabeth will cover Amazon and Check, which are 2 like platforms where you can either buy or rent different textbooks. And renting is always like the cheapest way to go because you only rent it for a semester or so. And then either you return the physical textbook or the PDF version expires online. So it's super, it's more inexpensive than buying them new because sometimes you stay like me and then you have like 4 or 5 textbooks that you're never going to use again. So it's just something to keep in mind. Renting is always cheaper and it's better that other students will be able to use the same books in the future. So we're going to move on to our librarian, Mr. John Ferris, and he's going to talk about our library's resources.
Thank you, Natasha, for that introduction. I sure hope you all can hear me. Thank you very much for being here. I'm here to promote and to show you how to use library resources so you can save money on textbooks. As the slide indicates, one of the main or one of the very useful resources that you can use to really save money is the EBSCOhost eBooks link. And this is really cool and really wonderful because it helps you all save money. And by accessing textbooks that are already available online for free, and you don't have to pay anything for them. So that way you're going to really save a lot of money. And as Natasha has already mentioned, won't have to have a bunch of textbooks that you don't need, and then the ones that you really actually need actually turn out to be up there on the database. So you didn't have to buy them in the first place. So you kind of like it's a way to kind of save money without having those kind of shocks to the system, surprises of having to pay out extra in your wallet. And of course, I know we all are familiar with the buying back of the textbooks. You really don't get much back for them, so you can avoid that minor financial calamity as well. So if we go to the site, I can show you how to do that. Thank you, Natasha, for that. If we go to
wrong one, sorry.
That's fine.
This is the library one.
Yes, this is our library website. Thank you, Natasha. So from this point, to get to the online or to the EBSCO ebooks, there's a link. The pull down menu found the find section as indicated here. So you scroll down to the link that says ebooks. So click onto that link, and a number of links appear. And we scroll down to the EBSCO ebooks link here, and you take your cursor and you click on it. It should take you to the EBSCO page. And I should also mention that if you're going to access these resources from off campus, you're going to encounter this sign in. So you're going to have to sign in to use it, but just a minor step, just like you would for your email. You simply just click on there, add your credentials, and it should automatically log you in. Just wait for a minute, and it should hopefully log you in to EBSCOhost.
Yeah, it's probably my internet's just kind of slow, so it should be loading. Here it is.
All right, awesome. Now the trick with this one, instead of doing the searches is up here, you'll scroll up to if you scroll back up, Natasha, to the top, there'll be a number of accessibility links up here. And just go to the one that says ebooks, take your cursor up there and click onto that. And just give it another minute. And okay. And from here, now you can do searches throughout all of these subjects that are highlighted. You have a couple of ways that you can access. You can either click onto the textbooks that are available here, like, for example, this Color in the Third Degree, for example, or any one of these. You could click and get access to ebooks directly and view it in its entirety. Yeah, Natasha, if we got time to just show them, like maybe that maybe that stress in young people now, and go and click on it. Just as an example, when you do find the textbook that you need, you can simply click onto it and view the book in its entirety. Again, it may take just a couple of minutes for it to appear in the portal. Just give it a minute here. Hopefully, I should be able to view it. It's taking too long. Just want to give you an example of what it'll look like.
Yeah, I think it's just because sometimes textbooks are really long. So in order to load all the pages, it takes a little bit.
Yeah, it does takes a little bit of time to.
Also, my computer's kind of old, so I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
So
Click onto the PDF full text, and like you do for articles in EBSCO, much like online journal articles, but here you can view the whole textbook in its entirety. It's all been scanned. It's available for viewing. You just go through page by page if you like, as Natasha's doing with the pull down screening, or you can just click on any of the chapter titles highlighted, or throughout the contents of the chapter. If you like, you have multiple ways that you can navigate through it. You also have a number of links at the top, so you can save pages if you like. You can email them to yourself for later on. You can print those pages out. There's a dictionary feature also available if you're trouble encountering a word that you don't understand or a vocabulary word you weren't sure of. You can just click on the dictionary link, and a multiple array of links that you can access and use while you're perusing through the page, through the textbook. And definitely will come in handy, and of course save you a lot of money. Instead of purchasing those textbooks, you can just view them right here.
So that was EBSCO host, or EBSCO ebooks.
And if you need, and we have computers and printing still available, and Natasha will kind of put contact numbers. And if you need more assistance, please let us know. We'd be very happy to help you with finding or searching for ebooks or any other library resource services that you may need.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. So next we're going to talk about our UTRGV bookstore. And Ms. Joanna Garza has joined us, and she's going to speak about our university resource.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Sorry it took a bit to log on. I was caught up with some customers. It's starting to get a little bit more busy at the bookstore as people are getting ready for the start of class. Things I wanted to share with you guys, first and foremost, is definitely our website, shoputrgv.com. If you're going to type it in on your URL or your phone, a really neat feature about our website when you're on our website is that you can shop by student ID. So once you click on our website, if you want to go ahead and give it a shot, Natasha, and click on the link. So right like in the center portion of our actual page, if you just scroll down a little bit, you will see the option shop by student ID. And right there, you can type in your student ID, press enter, and it will populate a book list for you for the courses that you're registered to. Error messages that you may see in case if there's no book adopted, it might say no materials provided, but you can opt to choose alert me when that information comes through. It could be that maybe with everything going on, a lot of classes are changing from in-class to online. So there's not a need for 4 in-class sessions because one class can be taking all of that online. So there has been a lot of changes happening with courses and faculty, and that sometimes there's also even faculty that get hired a few days in advance. So you might see the no textbook materials supplied at this time. That means we at the bookstore haven't received any textbook information for that course. Another thing you might see is no titles complete. That means basically that there's no titles available or no titles required. Or you can also see it tagged as OER, which is online educational resource, where you will be provided that information through an online educational resource and you don't have to purchase a physical book here with us at the campus stores. And then of course you'll see if there is a book adopted, you will see the ISBN, which is basically the number of the book, and you'll be able to see if it's available new, used, if it has the rental option or the ebook option. The ebook option is definitely our most affordable option. It's an electronic book, so we don't have to worry about shipping it here, selling it. So because of all of those, causes being out of the equation, it's the biggest savings for you to be ready for your class. Another super saver is the rental, and most titles are available for rent. That does depend on the publisher. I know a lot of people want to rent a book sometimes, and they're like, no, but I want to rent it. And I swear we don't decide what is available for rent or what is not. That is depending on the publication. So that is another option to consider. So you have new, used, rental, or ebook options to choose from. And there is times where you might need like an access code. Access codes are a one-time use. Those are usually only going to be found new. If you're buying a used one, likely is that it's already been used by somebody else and you won't be able to activate that code. So try never to buy any used codes unless you know for sure it's a friend who had trouble activating it and it's still good. Another thing I wanted to mention with you guys is one of our things that we also offer is price match. The way that we handle price match though is that price match is not what you see online, what you pay in stores. So for example, if you are shopping with us and you want to price match against something you saw at Barnes & Noble, we do price match with Barnes & Noble, and we also price match against with Amazon, but it has to be the main Amazon, not a third-party Amazon account. We have the book here in the store on the shelf. It's $100. On Amazon, it's $50. The way it works is you would have to pay the $100, but we give you back the difference of the $50 in a gift card. So I know a lot of people will be like, oh, well, I'll just get it on Amazon and I'll just keep the $50 for something else. I completely understand. I just want to make sure that I do share with you the way the price match works. It is with a gift card difference issued to you. Just so that is something that you are aware of, and an option. I mean, if you buy a price match book, you get the gift card. You can use that gift card towards the purchase of another book. So that way you can kind of, in a sense, see the savings there. Another item that I wanted to discuss with you guys is Cengage Unlimited. Cengage is a publication, basically, and Cengage Unlimited has launched this, what is called something like a subscription. That's the best way I can explain it. It's like a subscription, like a Netflix subscription, because if you purchase Cengage Unlimited for a semester at $119, you have access to all of the Cengage titles and all of their platforms in case if you need an access code. So a lot of courses that require it mean these books can be a little pricey, especially if it's a book bundle where it's a book and a code. Usually it's $150 or more. the price for bundles. But if you go with the Cengage Unlimited, it's an instant access at the register for $119, and it'll give you access to the book and the code, and it can give you access to multiple books and codes that are under Cengage. So a lot of students have found really great money savings, especially when they're taking 3 classes that need a Cengage book. Instead of getting 3 books, they'll just get that one Cengage Unlimited, and they can access all those 3 books for the one price of $119. The subscription is available also for a year or 2 years, but we do see most of the movement with the 1 year, or the 1-term subscription. So that's just something that I wanted to share with you guys in case if you didn't know. There is I believe there's a Spanish course, like the beginner Spanish that uses that one. And then there's like medical terminology that also uses Cengage with the platform. So just depending on when you review your book list, after you've typed in your student ID number on our website and you see your book list, if you see that, okay, a few of them have Cengage, like the publisher Cengage for more than one, you might consider Cengage Unlimited for some savings. And last thing I wanted to also share with you guys is that we do have a virtual booth set up for Roundup, and our virtual booth is up. I really want to invite you guys to check out our virtual booth so that you can get more information about textbooks, about what we are here to offer for you guys. We have a store here in Brownsville. There's also a store in Edinburgh, and really encourage you to shop online. We have available free in-store pickup, or we can ship it to your home. Given our current situation, and to kind of lower the amount of people in the store, we are seeing a lot more movement on our online platform. You can also call us directly if you have any questions or concerns. We are here to help you guys out. And we also have a raffle going on for our booth for a total of 4 gift cards. Each gift card is going to be loaded with $50. So that's a good takeaway if you guys want to try to save money on your books. If you enter the raffle, that's a possibility for you to win a $50 gift card and use that towards your textbooks. And that's all I really have in conclusion to share about the bookstore. We're here to help you guys out. I want to welcome you. I know it's not the traditional way to start college, but it's being done to make sure that everybody stays safe, and all of the resources are in place to help you guys make sure you're successful and make sure that you have all the help you need. Know that we're here for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garza. So now we're going to move on to Elizabeth, and she's going to be speaking about Amazon.com and how that's a great resource to also look at and compare different prices to rent or buy textbooks.
Okay, so the first one is Amazon. Amazon textbook stores allows you to shop online and buy your textbooks without ever leaving the comfort of your couch. They offer new, used, rental, or also e-textbooks. So they offer with different subjects that Amazon has. I'm currently a senior at UTRGV, and I've used Amazon for like twice. And it's a really good source. They compare prices as well for like with other companies that they have. It says like the price match. I believe if you have the Amazon Prime, you also get the 2-day next day free shipping, which is really cool because for students like us that we're like in a hurry, that we need the textbooks, or there's some professors that really want for you to have your textbooks already, this is a really good website for you to use them. They also have free shipping over $25 or over, and it's a really good use. And Amazon, I'm pretty sure everyone has used Amazon before. It's really easy. You just look for the textbook, that name, the ISBN, and the edition, and just make sure that you have the right edition, because different editions they do have some differences on each edition. And Amazon is really easy. It's really good to use, and a lot of people not just shop for textbooks on Amazon, but they also shop for different things like home furniture and all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure everyone has used Amazon, and it's a really good textbooks that they have. And then the next one is Chegg. This is a website that I usually use for my textbooks. Chegg is a really good website for textbooks. Their main sources is that they offer rental, and it's really good cheap rental prices. The cheapest rental textbook that I rented at Chegg was about $25, which is really good because most students, they don't use the textbooks once you're already finished with classes. So some students don't really see the point of keeping your textbooks with you, so they decide to rent at Chegg. And it's a really good prices as well. The expensive book that I rented at Chegg was like $60, which is really good. But that's the most expensive book that I've bought. They also provide you with the prepaid shipping label. So once you're done with your classes and you don't need to use your books anymore, you just put them back in the box, and you have to print out your prepaid shipping label, and you stick it on the box, and you just return it to a FedEx, to your local near FedEx store. And it's really easy. They'll tell you when the due date is, and just make sure you do send your books back before the due date, so they won't charge you extra per day after the due date. And Chegg.com is really easy. It's similar to Amazon. You just check your ISBN, the title, and the different editions that they have. And they do offer, if you want to purchase it, like if you want to buy the book, you can also buy it at Chegg, but it'll be a little bit more expensive than renting the book. And it's returning rentals is free. So like if you got the wrong book within the 21 days, you can send it back, and they'll give you your money afterwards.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that sometimes it just depends on the book, because like this book, I was going to rent it for one of my Mexican American Studies classes, but it was like $1 extra to buy it. So I was like, you know what, let me just buy it, and then my sister can use it in the future. So it's just comparing like the different platforms and the different prices to find out what would be the cheapest option for you guys. Thank you, Daniela. Thank you for joining us. This is basically the end of our session, so feel free to log off anytime.